Hello everyone, Linker here with my second podcast about the people that make AFKArena community what it is. I'm very happy to introduce our guest for today. Will you say hi?
Hey guys, it's Kale from Reddit.
Right, so Kaleidoscope, or Kale, is in charge of AFKArena subreddit. He's also moderating the Discord, so he has a big part in how the community looks like. But before I start all of this, let me ask you, who are you in real life?
Oh boy, that's a good question. I'm a 24 years old developer. My job's pretty simple. I just develop apps. And with this job comes a lot of free time. So that's the time I can dedicate to the Reddit or Discord or anything AFKArena related, really. A game like AFKArena. I'm not a huge mobile game player, I guess. AFKArena is the only mobile app I have, but I do play on desktop though. Huge fan of movies too, stuff like that.
I see. And when you work, are you working for an organized place or do you make your own schedule?
Oh yeah. It's a company. We're a pretty small company, around 30 employees, but I can pretty much work whenever I want. So I make my schedule, which is really good. I work on AFKArena stuff too. It's more I'm more free to decide how I use my time.
I hear you. That's very flexible. A lot of people don't know what Kale does. A lot of other games have communities where people run astray, nothing is moderated, and we have everything very organized, and that makes me very happy. Let me start with something just to engage on who you are. In Discord, I saw you have the French tag. What's that about?
Well, as you can hear from my accent, I'm a French Canadian from Montreal. My main language is French. The French tag on Discord is basically because we have a French channel. I mean, French people can go there and talk. We have multiple languages, by the way. If you guys listening are interested, we have Russian, Dutch, French, Spanish, and Tagalog, and I think Chinese, stuff like that. So yeah, the French tag is just because I basically moderate French chat.
That's very extensive. Did you come up with all of these separation in the main Discord?
Oh no. I'm just a mod, honestly. I think it was Space, which is the OG mod, like the first one that was hired by Lilith to work on the Discord, that came up with that idea.
I hear you, but just the mod is a little bit humble because you do also manage the Reddit. Is that right?
Yeah, Reddit's a bigger part of my day. Discord, I usually just check whenever I get pinged or when people need my opinions on stuff. But Reddit is where I spend most of my day, yeah.
How did you get to where you are in Reddit?
The subreddit started very small. I remember when I started playing AFKArena, I kind of wanted like guide stuff like that, but it wasn't really common back then. Probably need to say that I started playing before the official release. So let's say January 2019, I think, if I remember correctly.
Really? Was there a version of the game back then? Like, how come you could play that?
The game was just on iOS. Like I could just download the app. So it wasn't officially released, but you could still play it. Not quite sure.
Oh, the OG days.
Yeah. When Rain was still good.
Right.
Yeah. So back then, yeah, I checked out the subreddit because I've been a pretty avid user of Reddit. Like I've been on Reddit for the past, I don't know, 10 years, something like that. So I figured, hey, there might be a subreddit for AFKArena. And as it turns out, there was one, but it was blocked as no one could post. The user that created the subreddit wasn't very active. So I messaged him, asked him if maybe I could take like the lead or something like that. And he said yes, because he wasn't really interested in playing the game or managing the subreddit. So I had to do some specific stuff like request the subreddit to Reddit officials. And it worked out. I got the subreddit, I think, at around 800 subs. And it took us a whole 2 years to get to 220K.
That's some solid growth. What do you attribute this to? Like, how did this happen?
Oh, it's all because of the community. Usually, mobile games, people just play the game, that's it. But I feel like AFKArena has such a strong community. Like, there's so many guides. People like to talk about the game, create arts, stuff like that. It's amazing. It's basically all because of the community.
So we see right now from the 800 people that used to be in the community, probably people that were very strong, that right now you have 200,000 enlisted over that, and about 2,000 active at every single second. Now, I wanted to ask you something a little different about that. Are you, because I picked up that you're a Reddit user. Do you do this across many different topics, or is this like your main focus?
Yeah, my main focus is AFKArena. I do use Reddit every day. Like I check the main subreddits just to see the actually like the news, whatever happens in the past few days. But yeah, AFKArena is the main subreddit I spend time on. I do have a smaller one that I moderate, but this one's to help a friend of mine, which created a game too.
I mean, if this was a job, this would be the fastest promotion I've ever heard, from small one to 800 to 200,000. Like that kind of community size, that's so crazy. And I think, at least for me and most people that I hear, that it's managed very well. What do you think about the community? What are the good stuff that you see? What's some of the bad stuff that you probably see?
Well, the community is great. Like I said earlier, the subreddit wouldn't be here without the community. I really love like the art. The art is just crazy. People are so invested. We have people like you, whitesushi, like creating guides, content, everything about the game, and it's just really crazy. There's maybe one thing, I guess, the community. Well, I wouldn't want to say the community. It's more like a couple people, I guess. Newer users are usually lazy and post the same questions. That's a recurring issue. We keep having people complain about it, but we're doing our best. We're trying to create sections and guides that helps newer players while not making everyone need to answer their questions whenever like they get a new hero, like they want to know if it's good or stuff like that. That's probably the smallest thing about the community that we need to work on still.
Right. So quick shout out to Wen, who makes incredible
Oh,
art.
yeah.
Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
No, I just had to do it. I keep taking art from them, and they're just so nice about it to them the other day. I think like it's a learning curve about the game. So you have the newer players that engage. I don't think it's ill-hearted in a lot of senses. They're just like coming in touch with the community, and people are talking about advanced concepts like synergies and God comp all the time. Because I think it's a super engaged Reddit community, right? Like we have our own terminology. So newer people find it harder to engage. And what's some of the things you think are the right ways to approach the thing where you want to get those newer players that are probably the majority engaged to the point where they're talking with the minority of those guide makers like myself and whitesushi?
Yeah, well, as of right now, we have that particular rule which says that you can't post questions regarding earlier stage. So let's say chapter 10 and below. We feel like chapter 10 takes around a week or two to get there, something like that. And during that time, there's no real strat you need to do, right? It's just basically level up your heroes and you'll pass to chapter 10 like quite easily. What we did though is we've created this FAQ guide section. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it regroups maybe not every guides, but most of them. And in that guide section, we have something for newer players, which, like you said, is the main part of the community. But we feel like this guide section or FAQ kind of helps them enough to get to chapter 10 quite easily. And then they can engage all they want because not everyone has the same heroes or stuff like that past chapter 10. Like it gets a lot more complicated for sure.
So let me see if I get you right, because there's quite some to unpack there.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you really took it forward towards quality, because you're saying, look, we have those users like whitesushi, like Wen, like Grub, like all kinds of people that put really high level content. And I want to keep my subreddit high quality. So I really want those earlier stage people to listen, because I'm lucky to have these people that make guides. They're super engaging. And hopefully we can cover enough of the community so that over time they grow. Now, I don't think it's a point of like silencing the majority as much as it is empowering the people that make the best out of the community. Am I getting you right?
You worded it so nicely. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Right. And I think you and the general mod on the same page, because For me at least, I've seen many game communities that are like moderated forcefully, and you see all these corruption kind of things, and people abuse it to gain some currency or something. And really, there's not any kind of drama on this Reddit, and it's really large. So that's somewhat surprising, at least for me. How did you approach? What are you thinking when you approach stuff like the Pearl event, for example, where you know that some people will be posting like, "Please give me pearls, please give me." Like, how do you handle those kind of situations?
About these like popularity events, I guess, we can't just allow users to share their IDs because the subreddit would get polluted with all these posts. So what we did this time around, which worked out quite well, I think, is creating a general thread where people could trade with other users. They could share their IDs or, I guess, ask for pearls. I think this worked out pretty well, but considering Lilith said that these kind of events won't be coming back, I don't think it's going to be an issue going forward.
Wait, they said that?
I think they did, yeah.
Is this secret mod information or is this broad information? Because I've never heard.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I read that on the subreddit, but I'll have to double check. Don't take my word for it.
No, don't take my word for it. If I haven't seen it, you probably have. This is like, you guys can see the beautiful, magnificent Reddit profile picture of Kaleidoscope, unless I'll upload it over to YouTube. But this guy seems like a very knowledgeable Pepe, tipping his fedora over here. So pretty knowledgeable about that. All right, and what is your arrangement with Lilith currently? Like, how do you guys currently work?
As of right now, everyone that's working on a platform, be it Reddit or Discord, we're all connected on the Discord. So we can discuss with Lilith about things. If the community's unhappy about something, we'll voice it to Lilith, like directly. Every mod that works for Lilith are getting a compensation. So depending on the amount of platforms you're working on, so let's say you're working only on Discord, you'd be getting 3K diamonds a week, which is very nice of Lilith.
Ah, that's nice. That's really well recognized. I feel like they're pretty connected to their community in a sense, where they take those strong users like you. And I feel like it's really fair to compensate you, at least in-game, for this work that you're doing.
Yeah, I feel like they recognize that the community is such a big asset for the game. I'm glad they take actions directly to make sure the community stays as great as it is.
And you see them listen to players' complaints too. Like, I'm very happy to have you raise some of those. And maybe we can talk about that a little bit offline, because I'm especially curious. But it feels like the mods are really listening, and the Lilith devs are really listening to what players rise. How do you feel about it yourself? I'm kind of curious.
I agree. Whenever we have issues on the subreddit that needs addressing, we can usually contact Lilith staff, and they respond right away. Like, they'll get into it immediately. Like, it's super nice to have someone listening whenever there's an issue. You don't have to go through it alone and like fix things the way you think it should be. You always have someone to back you up, which is Lilith in that case, which is nice.
All right, so you heard it there. No tech support, really professional people in Lilith helping great people like Kale pull this great community off. And how about stuff like the Flairs and things like that? How did that develop?
Originally, the Flairs I wasn't like quite a fan of. I felt like it would look too much of a Christmas tree with all the lights and colors everywhere. The rest of the team kind of convinced me to give it a try. So we kind of came up with a good balance. For the user Flairs, we only allow one icon and a text, which lets people kind of express themselves, but not too much. At the beginning, we had 5 icons, which people could recreate their team, but we felt like there was too much going on at once, like when you open up the subreddit.
Speaking of the team, who's making the team? How do you come up with new mods, and how often do you feel moderator action is needed?
As of right now, I'm the one overviewing the team. So whenever we need new members, I am the one in charge of finding said new mods.
Find democracy, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. And as of right now, we asked for 10 actions a day, which is not a lot. Just to give you an example, I do around 50 to 75 on a good day. So 10's not that much. It's pretty fair. as of when we need new moderators, usually it's whenever we feel the subreddit is getting too big for the amount of mods we have. As of right now, I think we cover all the time zones, so we're pretty set on the moderators. But life happens. Maybe people will quit. Maybe people will, not have quite as much time as before. So maybe we'll get new mods done.
Let's say one of our listeners is very power hungry here and wants the beautiful Reddit title. What's the best way to approach coming to you for a moderation or someone else?
I don't usually answer to messages about mod position. Whenever we need new mod, we simply post a new thread that we pin to the subreddit so people can apply to become a mod. But if you're really passionate and have special stuff you want to bring up to the team, just reach out to me and I'll consider it.
All right. You heard it from the man. And how about the Discord? How do you feel like that is managed?
As of right now, the Discord's pretty straightforward. We have a head moderator, which is May. Shout out to May. She's been here for a while, like almost a year and a half, I think. And she's the one overviewing everything. As of right now, I'm just a simple mod.
In general terms, like how do you recognize good users, bad users? How do you divide the permissions, the titles? How's that working?
As you'll probably see, Discord's not my forte. It's very simple, I think. It grew as the community grew. At the start, we had a simple general channel where people could just discuss the game, stuff like that. But as more people joined, we felt the need to expand the Discord. So as of right now, we have more sections, like an art section, a lore one for people that want to discuss the game's lore. We have off topic for people that just want to discuss everyday life things. We also have game information sections with guides, questions, and lineup help, stuff like that. I think we got a channel for everyone. Like, depending on what you want to talk about, there's a spot for you in the Discord.
All right, so you heard it. Definitely join the Discord. How do you feel, though? One question that I feel, especially for me, maybe it's a personal thing, but I feel like AFKArena is going across a lot of platforms. You have Twitch, you have Facebook, you have Discord, you have Reddit, you have the community page. And I've heard personally from my guild, at least, that some people are getting lost in all of these. It's really hard to keep track. Like, what do I follow? How do I get all the information? And then there's also the Chinese forums that really fragment this up. So I was really curious to get your opinion about how is that and what could we do to maybe improve it?
Yeah, I agree with the issue of having too many communities or platforms, I guess. The issue with that is fairly simple. If it was me, I would just say everyone on Reddit, let's go. But obviously we can just do that because Reddit's pretty hard to manage. Guilds, I guess, guilds promotion is pretty hard to manage on Reddit. We have a thread as of right now where people can promote their guilds, but the reach is pretty low. There's not many chance people will see your message, stuff like that. So that's why we have the Discord. But I do agree that having multiple platforms like that is not the best. But I think going forward, we'll maybe come up with ideas for the subreddit to take the majority of the community, I guess.
And if anyone has seen the quality of the community, I think up close, it will definitely be you. What do you feel like makes a good content creator on Reddit or Discord or anywhere for this game?
Honestly, as long as you're passionate about the guides or content you're making, I feel like it just shows. Even though your content's maybe not accurate, by you I don't mean you, Linker, but whoever's listening doing guides, even though it's not 100% accurate, as long as you're trying to make the absolute best content you can, the community is going to be there to help you and support you and give you tips for the future guides, stuff like that.
Okay, Kale, and how about the game itself? What drew you first into the game over others?
Usually, whenever I look for a mobile game, it's just because I'm bored, bored out of my mind. I'm usually in bed, just looking for something to do, and I just open up the App Store. The thing that brought me to AFKArena is definitely the design. Like the art style all around is just so good. At the beginning, when I started playing, I think there were about 8 euros per factions, which is really not a lot. But as time passed, they added more and more, and I just fell in love with the game even more. Like there's so many things to do now compared to whenever the game released. So it's just a huge plus for me now.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. I remember the old AFKArena. Maybe for you, I'm just a newbie player, but for me, I remember how much this game changed. I think the developers are really listening out to the players. But I want to stay on the game topic. And how well are you doing on that? Like, what? How engaged are you? How far in campaign are you? How well are you doing there?
Okay, so the community is probably gonna laugh at me for this, but my account is pretty old, but I'm only chapter 29 as of right now. My
That's not too shabby.
I mean, my crystal is still level 330, which is very high for chapter 29, I feel.
That is a little
Yeah,
high.
it really is. But just to be fair, I kind of stopped playing for a couple months back, like a year ago. I do have a rain
Really?
that's ascended 5 stars and as a plus 27 signature item, so no judging, please.
Oh my god, this is becoming an exposed
Oh,
video.
yeah.
I'm here all friendly. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm very happy to have you here. And all right. And what do you like about your progression right now? Like when you play the game right now, because I think right now you're playing. What do you like about it? Like, what's the parts that engage you the most?
Yeah, I'm still currently playing. I started playing back when my friends got into the game. Honestly, as of right now, I'm not really someone that pushes stages. I kind of just try it once every day, and if it works, it works. If not, whatever. I don't really try new formations or stuff like that. I'm honestly more of a collectioner. Like I just like having multiple heroes at descended rarity, and get the new dimensional heroes, stuff like that.
Right. So like collecting the skins in that new event.
No. It just wasn't that worth it. I prefer the red chest, to be honest.
I see. So a casual player, but a hardcore sub mod.
Oh, yeah.
Kale, I've been really happy to have you here. I want to thank you for coming along because I feel like just hearing those few words from you, getting people to know that there's somebody strong behind the community that really cares, I feel like that kind of thing is really useful for people to know how those communities come along and how well this community is really working. So thank you very much for joining me today.
Well, thanks for having me, and thanks for having this podcast. I just want to get it out there how much of a good podcast it is. Like the one with whitesushi was just amazing, and I'm looking forward to more.
Yeah, and that second one, it had this one great person you really liked.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
For coming
also,
along.
Shout out to the mods team and the community. I love you guys.
Shout out to the mods team, and shout out to Wen, and shout out to Con. Thank you.